again, being the oldest of 7, that's a lot of responsibility, I'm sure, a lot of pressure.
Yes. Lots of babies. My mom was pregnant like my whole life. I was like, you need to take a chill pill.
Hey friends, it's your girl, Emily Curl. We are back in our iHeart studio, and today we're hanging out with model, DJ, artist, Charly Jordan is here with us. Give it up!
Wow, what an intro. Thank you so much.
But it's so nice to see you. So you're here in New York for a few days. What have these last few days looked like for you?
Yeah, I'm here till Saturday. The last couple days I got to DJ the Steve Madden event last night, which was really exciting. And then I'm DJing the opening of the Hard Rock Hotel tonight. So I'm out here for work, and then I'm off to Arizona, where I'll continue to go on tour and just keep going.
Doing your thing. When you come to New York, is there anything that you have to do, like a piece of pizza you have to get or a place you have to go?
Already did it last night. I always just go down and get random street pizza, which I feel like it always ends up being so good in New York.
The dollar slice is everything here, truly.
And the hot dogs.
Yes.
Late at night after the club, you have to get a hot dog.
I love it. Well, first and foremost, congratulations, your Las Vegas residency, which is huge.
Thank you so much.
Tell us a little bit about this.
So I was born and raised in Las Vegas, so it's a really significant and special thing for me. But it's been such an experience to be able to DJ alongside some of the most renowned DJs in the world that I looked up to my entire life, and such an incredible learning experience. So I've had a 2-year residency with them, and we'll just continue to build that relationship. And I love Resorts World. They're amazing.
Let's go back a minute, because growing up in Las Vegas, I feel like I picture the Las Vegas Strip. That's how I know Vegas. I'm curious, how would you describe how you grew up in Vegas? What did that look like? What did your childhood look like?
So outside the Strip, there's the suburbs. Obviously the Strip is awesome, but if you really go and have been to Vegas, the Strip is you can get from one end to the other in 30 minutes. It's not very big.
Yeah.
So everything outside the Strip is the suburbs, and growing up there, I actually grew up Mormon in Las Vegas, so it's pretty tight religion. Yeah. So I grew up around all these crazy things, but I never really did anything.
Oh, that's so interesting. Are you still religious?
No longer, not anymore, no.
No.
But wow. It was really cool I guess I was always around the craziness. So right when I got to DJing and doing what I'm doing now, going to Vegas isn't the craziest thing in the world for me. I can handle it. I grew up playing hide and go seek in the casinos, so whatever.
Oh my God. Now, your family and friends, again, your hometown friends, that's going to be exciting. Have they come to your shows? Are they excited about the residency? What do they think?
My grandma comes to my shows. You can peep my grandma behind the booth at my shows in Vegas. My family comes out, people that I went to high school with, and it's really cool to have the community and the significance of playing there as well, because before Resort World was there, it was the Stardust, which is where my grandfather actually worked, and he was their attorney.
Oh my God.
And he passed away 6 or 7 years ago. So it's really cool to be able to work somewhere that he also got to work.
Yes, it's a family affair.
Yes.
Take me back to the beginning, though. When did you first realize that you were musically gifted or musically inclined?
I've always loved music, especially when I got into doing social media. A big part of the videos that I make was the music. And at some point from my videos, I started getting picked up by festivals to help produce their after movies. So I was filming DJs and filming festivals, and I went to festivals so much. I feel like that's where my love for music really grew. Being able to film the DJs, I was like, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And so I just bought myself turntables and taught myself how to DJ. It's probably been a 3 or 4 year process now. And obviously the past 2 years I've been releasing my original music and starting to transition into an artist, which I'm really excited about.
Teaching yourself to DJ, what's step one of that? Where do you even begin for that?
It's a pretty complicated process, but YouTube is a great tool, guys. You can learn anything on there. I just, hit up DJs that I had known and already had relationships with, where I was like, hey, can you just show me the basics? At the end of the day, someone can kind of show you the ropes, but you just have to teach yourself.
And practice is everything, yeah.
It's not really something you can be taught. It's something that you have to learn and just figure out. So, from watching DJs over and over again, I was sneaking into all the shows and clubs. I was underage. I was like, I want to DJ so bad. I don't know. It was just such an amazing, uplifting, no matter, where you're from, what age you are, what your past is, music is something that brings people together. And that's what I love so much about it.
Yeah. And you have amassed such a big following, almost 5 million Instagram followers, 8 million TikTok followers. I feel like you have such a large audience. Take me back to the beginning. What was the first video you ever posted?
I started off with travel stuff. That was my whole niche back, during Alexis Fringe Alvarez era, Tumblr, Pinterest. We love it.
Yeah. Oh my God. Throwback, yes.
I was 17 or 18 years old, and I just really wanted to travel the world. So I lived in Utah at the time, my senior year of high school, and I started road tripping around Utah and going to places like Arches National Park in Arizona, all the beautiful canyons in Utah. And I was just posting travel pictures. So that's really where I started was by traveling, which really prepared me for what I'm doing now, because touring is not easy.
Right.
And it's a lot of traveling, a lot of different places. So it's been really cool to see how like all the travel stuff that I did before helps me so much now.
When was the moment that it clicked for you? Like, okay, this life could be more than just me posting travel videos. When was the time where you're like, this could be my full career and it can launch me into lots of other things?
I think it was when I came out to LA for the first time, because I really was just doing it because I loved it. I actually didn't move out to LA until I had like 1 million followers on Instagram. So I built it outside of that. And I'd done brand deals here and there, but I truly was just doing it because I loved it. And when I got out to LA, I was like, wow, like you can make money from this.
This works, yeah.
I'd never heard words like, like engagement and like all the things that we know now, like those analytics used to not exist on Instagram.
And that's crazy because at this point you already had 1 million followers and still that was new to you.
Yeah.
It's wild.
And I was growing like, exponentially for that time. Like TikTok growth is crazy now. But back in the day on Instagram, I was growing like 1 million a year, which was really fast. So it was like 1 million the first year, 2 million the second year, 3 million after that. And I'm so thankful and blessed that I, just from doing something that I love, like I never planned on social media being my career or DJing actually. I just DJ'd for fun. I just try to do what I love, and I'm so thankful that I've been able to turn those into my careers.
Yeah, I mean, and you're also a huge mental health advocate, which I think is so important, especially because we've seen the rising incline of anxiety and depression with young kids, young teens that grow up on social media. I'm curious for you, having grown up on it, how do you stay mentally grounded? How do you navigate that territory?
I'm definitely never going to be one to sit here and say that like I figured it out. I definitely struggle with it every single day. But balance and moderation, just like anything else in this life, I think is super important. So social media, in my opinion, should be a way for you to show off the things that you're doing in your real life. Obviously, it's like a way to relate to people, which is another huge reason people use the internet, and that's why I started using it at first. But having that balance, right, of not just doing social media, I always feel like you should have something outside of that you're passionate about, that you can get outside and go do. But a lot of times, and especially during quarantine, I think it was really hard for everyone to sort of draw. It's like a very gray line of like, am I going to do this to film it, or am I going to do it because I actually want to do it? And it's a very hard thing. But for kids, I think it's just really important that you moderate social media use, and everything's good in moderation, but it's an addiction, just like anything else.
Yeah.
So be careful of it, and also who you follow and like what you allow yourself to see every single day, I think is really important.
Oh man, I've started really unfollowing some people. Again, if it's messing with your mental health, you got to do it.
Yeah, guys, savage. No, I'm just kidding. But it should be normalized, because that's the reaction that typically comes from it, right? It's like, oh, so and so unfollowed so and so, and it's like drama alert. Like that's like the number one. But it's like, why can't people respect people's boundaries? Like if you don't want to see pictures of XYZ, or you don't feel comfortable with this and this, like it shouldn't be a big deal to unfollow people. Like it's turned into whole things for me. Like if I unfollow someone because of like a valid reason, the whole internet is like has their opinion on it and demonizes someone and tries to create drama. But it's just filtering out what you want to see on a daily basis.
I was going to ask you about that, because I feel like it's one thing to have an audience, but you have so many followers watching your every move, and that's got to be challenging. What's the hardest part of that?
Just the pressure from it. Anything that I start that's new, everyone has like 10 out of 10 expectations, and like if I don't hit that, I just kind of get mocked or made fun of, which kind of sucks. But that hasn't really stopped me. Like I love trying new things, and people will try to put you in a box all the time, and you're an influencer or you're a DJ, but I have lots of things I like to do, and I'm going to keep doing that regardless of what people say on the internet.
I love that. I mean, and going back really quickly to the unfollowing thing, and when people comment on it, how often do you feel the need to respond to that? At this point, are you past that, or do you feel like you have to address a lot of those things sometimes?
I feel like I used to feel like I had to address it, but a lot of times the things people are talking about are so wildly false that it almost just feels like if I address it, it makes it real.
Gives it weight?
Yes. So I don't really address anything anymore. I also just try to stay out of that drama side of the internet, but obviously that stuff is inevitable. So I don't really respond to stuff unless it's like something that's actually important. Like if it's like relationship stuff, or like so-and-so said this, like the high school drama, obviously I'll ignore it. But anything that is of importance,
that like really affects you, then you step in.
Yes.
Now, to transition a little bit, you have multiple businesses, you've built a huge team. How has that been, like learning how to run your own business all while doing, all these other endeavors?
So much fun, actually. It's probably one of my favorite parts of it, just because for so long, a big part of why, you get depressed or have anxiety with social media is working by yourself, It's a lot of self-work and time. You're filming in your room, you're editing by yourself. So it's been really amazing, like, for me to be able to build a team. And a lot of times the reason people don't is because they don't want to like split revenue or share income. And like, for me, the journey is the most important thing. So to be able to build an incredible team who actually make me stronger and make me more creative and allow me more free time to be myself, and they add to that team just in their own unique ways, has been so fun. And I love having those relationships with people on the road and just when I'm doing stuff in general.
Yeah, and to have a team you trust is everything too.
Yeah, it's so much fun.
And you mentioned the revenue side of it, and that's one thing I wanted to touch on because I feel like oftentimes as women, we don't talk about finances or we don't get asked about that. And I'm curious for you, how important was it to have this, financial knowledge and this financial stability to be able to build your own business? And on the other side of that, what advice would you give to other women when it comes to being knowledgeable about how they're saving their money, where they're spending it, how they're growing something big?
That's an amazing question. Yeah, I actually don't get asked that often. It's something that I spend the most time on and talk about the most with women or men, anyone just in general who's trying to grow their own businesses and stuff. But the best advice I would basically say when you're building a team, I don't know, for me, it's been such a unique position to step into, being in charge of or being able to check up or having employees, right? And learning to be a team leader and making people feel invested. I feel like that's what's important. Like, it's not just cutting a paycheck and it's not just paying people like, oh, thanks, whatever. It's like really making people feel like they're involved in the long term, because I'm going for longevity. And that's really what makes anything successful, in my opinion, is consistency and longevity. And that's why when people or kids nowadays will try something and it doesn't work out immediately, it's like, oh, I'm out, I'm bailing. But you have to put in some time and work. Some of the best creatives, businesses, companies we've seen are years and years and years in the making. So that instant validation that comes through social media is only so applicable. Like, it's really not applicable to real world situations. So again, like, being able to separate social media, just because you're getting XYZ amount of likes, followers, does not mean they're making that much money.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So true, yeah.
So it's really important to look at the business side of everything. And I think that as social media is now being accepted into society as like a legitimate thing, clearly, like, I used to be made fun of for doing this. And now it's like, I get to sit here with you guys and talk about everything, which is so cool. And it's really, really exciting. And it really puts the power back in the hands of the people, right? Of like, this is what my schedule is. This is what I want to do. Again, with involving a team, finding people that are like-minded and are really good at what they do. Because I feel like oftentimes in the social media space, we also see that's like a huge problem of people getting into something because they want to, at some point, become an influencer or anything like that. So I try to hire people where it's like, this is an amazing, talented videographer, and this is what they do. And
it's what they want to do.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And helping them accomplish their goals and dreams outside of my job. Like, it's really important to me that everyone on my team has something else that they're doing outside of me, because I want them to be invested in their own career. I don't know, it's at the end of the day, I don't feel like it's that difficult, but it seems to be like very complicated for people to be able to combine emotion and business. And that's something that I feel like I've really tried to work on, where it's like creating a good team with good relationships, but also just crushing it.
What would you say to someone who discredits your knowledge or your capabilities because of your age? And have you had that happen to you before?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I get it. Like, I totally get it. You know, when you look at me, you wouldn't really think that whatever. But I've just been on my own from a very young age. I've been on my own since I was 17, just turned 18. So I was sort of forced to grow up and figure it out. I'm the oldest of 7 kids. There was a lot of responsibility that's sort of fallen on my shoulders for a long time. And just based off my life experience, like, that's why I'm at where I'm at. And I believe that everyone has like different timelines, that everyone will reach these things at some point, but based on certain experiences you've had in your life, certain individuals get there quicker or slower or whatever. So I just got hit with like a lot of really brutal life experience at a young age, which sort of forced me to do what I'm doing now. And that's like, I'm so grateful for the position that I'm in, but it's definitely not all unicorns and rainbows.
And again, being the oldest of 7, that's a lot of responsibility, I'm sure, a lot of pressure.
Yes. Lots of babies. My mom was pregnant like my whole life. I was like, you need to take a chill pill. But no, I love my siblings, and they bring me so much joy and happiness, and it's a big part of the reason I do what I do as well.
Yeah, I love that. Well, of course, we're iHeart, so we got to ask about music. You just dropped a new single. Tell us a little bit about this one.
Inner Bloom was a single that I just dropped, and it's my first alternative track, so it's really exciting because it was a joint collaboration between me and my friend Zeke. Being able to write it together and then just have it come into real life after like a year of writing it was really amazing. And then I also have my single before that, which was No Sleep. I'm doing house and alternative music right now, And I have another single coming out in 2 months, which is really exciting.
Oh my God, what can you tell us about that one?
I actually can't say anything about
Okay,
it,
top
but
secret. You know I gotta ask.
the summertime, it's gonna be the summertime anthem, and I'm really, really excited. It's a cross genre, which is something that I'm really trying to dive into of hip hop and house music. So it's gonna be really cool.
Who's next on the dream collab list?
That's such a good question. I love Millennium so much.
We just worked with him. He's the best.
Really?
Yeah.
Millennium makes grown men cry, which I think is pretty impressive. So I would love to work with Nick.
All right, Charly, if you're down, we're gonna play a quick rapid fire game. So I'm gonna ask a question and you tell me the first thing that comes to mind. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
Okay, Charly, I never leave the house without.
Lip gloss.
Ooh, do you have a favorite? A favorite brand?
You know what's weird is like, I was super into lip gloss and I'm into like lip oils and then I just transferred down to like Aquaphor. Like I'm like
I
all
love
over
Aquaphor. Shout out to
Aquaphor.
Aquaphor. The song you have on repeat right now.
It's a new song by Skrillex and it's called Supersonic.
The mantra I live by.
Keep it simple.
The best show on TV right now.
I'm obsessed with Bridgerton right now.
Something people get wrong about me.
Oh, people think that I can't DJ, but I can actually DJ.
Go see her in Las Vegas, okay? The best dating advice ever received.
Just not force it.
Your go-to snack?
Caramel apples.
Oh, like the ones that are dipped? Or you
Yes,
like
I
dip
literally
them?
dip apples and caramel.
But what is like if you gamble in Las Vegas, what do you do?
I've never gambled, guys. I've never gambled in my life.
What?
Which is so crazy.
Do you ever plan on it now that you're there?
I actually just got invited to Tiesto's poker tournament on Thursday this upcoming week. I'm like, I need to figure out how to play poker.
Wait, who else is going to be at Tiesto's poker tournament? That sounds fun.
I don't know. They just said it was a bunch of other DJs, like the residents at Resorts World. So it'll be a bunch of really
so
cool
fun.
DJs playing
Okay,
poker.
I'm rooting for you, Charly. Favorite city to play a show in?
Miami's just built different. I don't know what's going on there.
Yes, I'm actually going there for my 30th birthday for the first time. Can you believe it?
You've never been to Miami?
No.
Are you going with like a group of friends?
What if I was like, no, by myself?
Yeah,
yeah,
you
of
better be
course.
going with a group of friends.
Yes, going
It's
with a group
gonna
of
be
friends.
so fun. If you
Yeah,
need any
I'm so excited.
recommendations, let me know.
You know, I'll hit you up. One more time, give it up with Charly Jordan.
Thank you so much, guys.
Charly, thank you so much for being here. So good to see you. And of course, thank you all for watching. Make sure you stream all of Charly Jordan's music on iHeartRadio, including her new single, Inner Bloom, that is out now. Charly, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me. Love you guys.
Bye, guys.
Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Did you like that video? You can check out more over here. And don't forget to subscribe to iHeart right here. And if you're already a longtime fan, make sure you ring the bell down below so you don't miss a single video. Bye guys.